Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Red Gold Redemption podcast. And I'm about to discuss this 49ers loss against the Jaguars and the positives and the negatives. Okay, it was a very close game, and unfortunately we lost. And it was due to a lot of turnovers. We had a lot of turnovers, and two crucial ones, about three crucial ones by Purdy. And this happens with Purdy. He gets very ambitious, and he tends to have games like this where you have like multiple interceptions and a lot of fumbles. Not too many fumbles, but more so interceptions. But that comes with the territory when it comes to Purdy, and it works in our favor, and then it backfires. So that just comes with Purdy. He's like a Brett Favre in a sense, where he'll have those type of games. But yeah, it was looking good. Another positive is Tonjes as the backup for um, George Kittle. We've been looking for a solid tight end backup for George Kittle when he goes down, and so far he's filling the role in pretty good. He's stepping up to the plate and he's producing, so that's a positive right there. And what else? Yeah, it's crazy. We have all these injuries, and Christian McCaffrey of all people just happens to be the healthiest guy so far. It's like I was worried about him, and these other players are falling out. So that's something good. If he could keep McCaffrey healthy, man, we're gonna down the line, long term, we'll get it done. And I believe Chris McCaffrey is kind of holding back. He's not like, of course, he's older, but I believe he's kind of holding back 'cause he doesn't want to do like go full strength because that you get an injury or something. So I'm thinking he's kind of being careful and looking at it long term, and then he's going to go all out when we get to the playoffs. When we get to the playoffs, though, I don't want to say if we get to the playoffs, or I hope we make it to the playoffs. When we get to the playoffs. So all right, there's a couple of things I noticed during that Jaguars game. Purdy's throws were a bit off, and I've seen this before. Even certain games last or 2 years ago, like when he went against Detroit, he had a couple of passes like that man that kind of went over the head, and but they made a miracle catch, and he has been, what's his name, Juwan Jennings. He has been left out to dry so many times, but he has produced the catches. There's something about Juwan Jennings where he has to. He's tall, but they throw the ball too high most of the time. Or Brock Purdy will throw the ball high with him, and I think Mac Jones threw a pass like that to him as well. He didn't make the catch. I think it was the Saints game where he threw a high pass to him and he almost made a crazy catch like Tyree did with the Giants. Now Eli Manning threw that pass to him in the Super Bowl. He almost made a catch like that. But he's always getting hung out to dry. So he had a catch like that. Then he had a 2 point conversion where he got laid out again. So we need to work on that. So he's not being left out there and getting hit. His body's open and everything. So what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, we got to establish our run game. Our run game it's not looking the same. We used to have the best run game in the NFL, and now it's just not working right now. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if these defensive coordinators have been scheming, been playing the defense, the run game better because Saquon Barkley, he's not running, he's not the same either. So the Eagles' run game is off. Well, I see other teams they have a pretty good run game, but these teams that are known for their run game it's not quite taken off yet. So that's something I noticed because once we get the run game going, and then the pass game's gonna get even better because we don't if your quarterback is throwing for 400 yards, 400, 500 yards, then it's something, in my opinion, something's wrong. A quarterback should not have to throw for 400 and 500 yards. Yeah, you should have a run game mixed in there so he could throw for 300 yards at the most, a solid 300 yards. And that's a good game. That's a productive game overall. You don't want your quarterback doing all that unless you're just throwing out crazy bombs and they're making all these big plays. So I can understand that. Yeah, the run defense is looking a little vulnerable too. I noticed that, and we're getting run on. But overall, the defense they've been saving us for so long until last game. If that strip didn't happen with Purdy towards the end, we would have mounted another comeback because we're driving down the field despite all those turnovers. So the defense has constantly stepped up. Robert Saleh is worth the money. Hopefully, we get him next year because he's worth every penny right now. And I feel like these young players are stepping up, and Saleh is coaching them very well. D. Winters has stepped up in place of Drake Greenlaw, and he's consistently getting it done. Fred Warner, and I'm liking Stout. Man, Stout is turning out to be pretty good. He should have had that interception. They did him wrong. That would have helped us a lot, man. That was messed up, and they screwed us on that one. But yeah, we're getting it done. 4 turnovers, unfortunately. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Yeah, the run game needs to improve, and yeah, Brock Purdy, he's the guy. There's people who try to say, "Oh, put Mac Jones in there." No, you keep Purdy in there. He has these type of games. That's why I call Purdy he keeps the plays alive. You know how I think Jesse Jackson had that keep hope alive. Purdy's keep the play alive, keep plays alive because he's always keeping the plays alive. He'll always find a way to keep that play alive, and that's what I like about him. He could extend the play when these guys coming at him. He's more mobile than Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is a solid backup, and he did what he was supposed to do. Long term, I don't believe it will work. So you keep Purdy in there because Purdy's going to do certain things that Mac Jones would not do. He takes the risk, and that's what I like. I'll take games like yesterday where he has 3 turnovers, but he'll have other games where he'll produce and play a perfect game. For example, the Super Bowl, no turnovers by Purdy in the Super Bowl when he played the Chiefs. So he just has games like that, and you can't blame it on the weather and having small hands. No, he had a bad game, but even with all those mistakes, he still got it together. He didn't let that affect him. We were driving down, but then that strip happened, that fumble. So that's my recap on it. And do I believe Purdy should play against the Rams? It depends. I mean, I think we should sit. I believe we should have sat him against Jacksonville. He should have sat in the Jacksonville Jaguars game. That's what I thought, because that game was not as important as this game coming up against the Rams, because this is a divisional game. So I believe they should have sat him against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Mac Jones was questionable, so I understand why they put him in there. But now look, he's messed up, and we got to play the Rams, and we don't have that many days to a short turnaround against the Rams. So, man, it's questionable. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, depending on how healthy Mac Jones is, I would sit Purdy for this game, even though it's very important. It's a division game, and whoever wins is number one. But in my opinion, I will sit Purdy, put Mac Jones in there. Depending on how healthy Mac Jones is, I'm not too sure. But if he's healthy enough to play, put Mac Jones in there. Defense will do its thing. Defense will make sure it's close, and I believe Mac Jones could bring us to the promised land after the defense does its thing. So, man, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season. It's crazy. We could have been 4-0 with all these injuries. Pearsall's out. Pearsall's not out, but he bad knee. Jennings got a bad shoulder, a bad chest, bad stomach, bad everything, man. He had he's getting towed up. They keep leaving him out there to dry. And who else is out? Yeah, Kittle's still out, I believe. I think he'll be available after the Rams game. So, and then we get Brandon Ayuk back down the line. So, man, I feel like we're in a healthy place. I think we'll beat the Rams. Our defense is going to be the stars of the game again. We're going to tear what's his name up, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, man, you better be careful, man, because we're coming at you. We don't have Boza. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. I don't think we had any sacks for the first time since 2015. I believe that was a stat I seen. But we still did good without Boza. These other players we need to step up. There's some guy that we were trying to get, I think, with the Browns, I believe. Man, I forgot. I wrote that down. But I think it's a DN that we're looking to get. Let me look it up. Cause that trade deadline, that will be some trading Ayuk. There's always talk of them trading Ayuk. Do Niners fans like Brandon Ayuk? Y'all don't like him? Yeah, no, get Brandon Ayuk out of there. I can't believe I forgot this guy's name, but he's a defensive player. Yeah, because we're gonna need somebody to put some pressure on the quarterback. we're getting it done, but we need some pressure. So we'll see, man. That's my recap on the game, and I'll make a video. I may do a live stream for the game against the Rams, depending on if it's on, I don't know if it's on YouTube or network TV, because I don't have that NFL package. I'm not getting it. That's too much. I already got enough bills as it is. When this podcast takes off and I start making enough money where I could pay for it, then I'll do it. But if the game's on network TV, I'll live stream this game, and y'all could see me acting up and freaking out when things don't go right. But I'm a little calm though. Most of the time I'm calm, but I get nervous quietly. So man, that's it for me, man. That's it for the Red Gold Redemption podcast, and I'm out.